Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wiseish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you. Hi everyone, I'm Sister Jenna. Welcome to our special Zoom meditation segments. Look, it's no joke. Things are kind of weird. It's just weird. Pandemics, protests, job insecurity, global pause. Everyone's numb, but also everyone's searching. And they might be searching on this little gadget of Zoom in a little box. People from all over the world who don't know each other are coming together in Zoom rooms to figure out who they are, why they're here, and how to meditate. Meditation is something that we've often thought that if we make our minds empty, we've meditated. I don't believe that. I think it's important that we learn how to channel our thoughts in a right way that are connected to our vision, our goal, our spiritual attainments, our mental capacity. Then you're really meditating.
We find our nation on a precipice, true tipping point. Is this the moment that will finally change our country? Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'ma rain on this little love. Tell the sweet I'm new.
It's not a broken system. It was built to function exactly as it is.
We must respond with bold action.
This is our country too. We can build new systems that do what they should.
I'm a walk, I'm a march on the regular.
We are united. We are standing.
Follow away.
And we are going to fight this fight.
Freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. I break chains up on myself.
There is something happening across this country.
When we work and when we fight and when we march and when we speak up and when we offer solutions, we win.
I'ma keep running cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
It's always the right time to celebrate women and black women in particular.
It is an opportunity to show the nation and the world that we will act. It has been an inspiration.
You have the choice, and it is that choice that gives you power.
Vote. Vote like your life depends on it because it does.
That is what we need next. Action.
Everyone, to your spiritual vaccine hour. Nice to have you, and for us to continue to support Own Your Own Vote. For more information, just go to ownyourvote.tv on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Imagine the time in which we're now being called on, every one of us stepping up, voting. Every single one of us have to vote this year as if it was our life that we were voting for. Yeah, every single one, young, old, as long as you're at that age, past 18. I think the generation from the Match of Lives, remember that? Where most of them are now 18. They're going to be out there voting. Please don't listen to all the chaos and the confusion of what's going to happen in the next 3 months. Don't get caught up in all the fake stuff. You basically have an intuitive, natural sense of knowing what you would like for the country and what you'd like for your life, but what you'd like for generations to come. So make sure you own your vote when you get a chance, okay? So just go to their website and don't forget to put the hashtag as well. So, what's new? What's palpitating in your heart and in your conscience? What's going on inside your beautiful mind? Anything new? You coming to a closer understanding as to who you really are, why you're here. Each time we chime into Spiritual Vaccine Hour, it's really a chance to see what's percolating, what's coming up. Who am I? Who am I? What's the deal here? The soul is such a beautiful spark of light. The soul is such a beautiful spark of light, and it needs a great deal of power to be able to deal with the current times and the future times to come. I've said it once, I've said it 5 times, I've said it 100 times. We are going to need to be more powerful like you would not believe. And the irony to that is we were born powerful. It's just as life continued to unfold and the drama continued to offer different scenes in our lives, we began to hold on to certain experiences or memories or scenes that were just against the purity of the soul. Just against the purity of the soul. So how much are you learning about yourself now? How much have you understood about you? Especially in such times like this. What has been your big realization as to who you are? Before the pandemic, no? We were moving around, running here and there, doing this, doing that. You know, what do they call it? You know, moving things. Can't find the words right now. But we were using up so much physical energy. We were eating on the move. We were running from meetings to another meeting. And I know that now we're doing from one Zoom meeting to another Zoom meeting. We were going here. We were going to parties. We were going to programs. We were going to football games. We were going to activities with friends. And all of that, I wouldn't say it was a distraction. It was entertainment. It's life. But there are times when even as your spirit was trying to settle inside and you couldn't feel settled, you'd call up a friend and say, hey, let's go out. Let's go grab a bite to eat. Let's go get a drink. Let's go over so-and-so's house. And we weren't addressing the discomfort that perhaps we were going through. So who have you become now? Who are you now? What's going on? Today's topic is a simple one, because for the last 4 months that we've been together, and for those of you who might be joining us for the first time, we started Spiritual Vaccine because our meditation museums were closed, and they still are closed. And we decided to have an online evening program of just a spiritual chit-chat, spiritual community, just for us to be together as friends and folks who have come to the meditation museum, but still want to feel the fragrance of our work and the fragrance of our vibrations. We were never somebody that would force anything down anyone's throat. We just sort of offered our service and kind of went home. If anyone wanted to join, fantastic. Nobody wanted to join, fantastic. So by now, we've felt like this really intimate, close community of friends and family. And we've been learning a lot about the power of consciousness, the power of our lives, the power of thought, our relationship to God, to Source. Where does it take us? Some people will ask me, where's God during the pandemic? People are suffering. And I'll ask, well, have you been remembering God enough? Have you included the energy of God's qualities enough? Do you feel you have an intimate, consistent, alive, loving relationship with God? Are you trying to blame God for our human mistakes? Because I've heard people say that to me over and over again. They say, where's God in all of this? And I've often thought, oh, it's quite an interesting question. I think God is here if I remember Him and I use Him and I move along the natural laws of the universe. But why am I asking where's God as if He's the one that's supposed to fix everything after we mess everything up? Are we not accountable? Didn't we have a role to play in all of this chaos and confusion? In one of the sessions I think I did yesterday actually, that if I get angry even with myself, it is adding to the collective global anger. Some people don't like that, but it's true. Am I being that accountable? Do I feel that sense of responsibility? It's food for thought. So when somebody asks you, where is God in all of this pandemic? And what was the death toll? Santosh told me America has reached over 100,000 lives. 150,000 lives have been lost in the super nation of the world. Was that really necessary? I believe the statistics is that annually, through the regular flu, I think we lose about 30 to 50,000 lives per year. I think with the common flu. Please forgive me if my numbers are off, but I know we do lose lives every year as a result of the common flu. And to actually have a flu now on steroids and no vaccine for that flu, and it's gone to over 150,000 lives have been lost as a result of the coronavirus. And that's only in the United States of America. What in the world is going on? I get it that as Americans we have a rebellious nature. And I get it that as a rebel sometimes our role is to move the story forward. Those who don't necessarily always conform to the regular ways of life or the regular systems of life, but have a vision and are pulled towards that vision, become the instruments to make change. But if your rebellion will be the consequence of the death of the lives of many, because you feel like, I'm not going to wear my mask, I don't think that's the best kind of rebellion that we need. That's not going to move anything forward. Historically, despite however amount of countries that have been taken over due to guerrilla warfare or a coup, every leadership, every country that has gone through an overthrow of leadership that was there before and wanted sovereignty over that leadership has never made their country any better. I find that fascinating. Sometimes the same ones, for those of us who have the archetype or the sanskars or the role, to go out there and be the freedom fighters, the one that will stand up for justice, the ones that will believe in a higher cause, sometimes due to our passion, we ourselves become exactly what we were fighting against. Have you ever felt that in your marriage, with your in-laws, with your friends, with a relative? You complained so much about that person that one morning you woke up and you saw yourself in the mirror just like that person. Because the energy started to enter the system. We forgot to know who we really were. As things were changing, we started to change, but we picked up things that weren't the best. Look it up historically. How many countries have been overthrown, and became 100 times better than what they were before the other rulership was in power. It's a very profound time, and we're in a time of great, 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 great transformational change. After this transformation, there's no turning back for a while. For a really long time. One of the things that I've loved about the Brahma Kumaris around the world, they're all taking care of themselves spiritually. At every one of the 9,000 centers, they're taking care of the students, online programs, reminding everybody of how to be. Don't get lazy, don't get tired up here, don't fall back into the old. Because the minute you lower your vibration, you will attract a lower vibration. When you raise your vibration, the energy will be attracted to a higher vibration. Is there any vibration higher than God's energy? I know people are asking, where's God in all of this? Yeah. Where's God in all of this? God will be where you want Him to be once you start to straighten up your act. This morning's class was very powerful for me. I loved it so much. It said that, we have Brahma Baba, our founder of the Brahma Kumaris, and there's a very beautiful connection between him and the role of the divine and the supreme. So in a part of the morning class today, it said that when you look at Brahma Baba, just remember the divine. Don't be stuck in the form of Brahma, but remember God, the Supreme Soul. And there was something in that line that really struck me this morning, because how many times do I look at another child of God and zone in only on their quality, especially when their personality has very complicated sanskaras? You might be asking, what do you mean, Sister Jenna? Complicated sanskaras. Sanskaras that tend to have a lot of jealousy, competition, deception, manipulative, deceitful. Complicated sanskars are you're somebody who would make your friends into enemies in a minute. You find it very hard to stay peaceful. You're always criticizing things. You're discontented. Complicated sanskars. So, because so many in our world have complicated sanskars, it's proof we don't know who we are, because we weren't born complicated. We were born peaceful people. So what happened? And then we say, where's God in all of this? So when we invite the energy of God into this current time of great change, what we're saying is, I'm ready to remember that I, the living soul, energetically, I've got my act together. There is love that flows through me. There is wisdom that flows through me. There is kindness. There is the spirit of cooperation. There's purity, there's peace. And it's not in a soft way where you can come and trample all over it. It is at such a level of energy that it's so strong and so powerful that it actually transforms the environment. And it shifts the vibration from even trying to pollute the purity of your spirit. So when we move away from this complex way of being, we start to rise into a being that has a deep sense of understanding of itself. No, I'm not here to take advantage of you. No, I'm not here to lie to you. No, I'm not here to be angry with you. I'm here to set an example of life worth living. We've been through a lot as souls. And I can guarantee you, 85 to 90% of us don't feel we're worthy. We don't feel that deep sense of worthiness. And that's why we allow the complicated sanskaras to govern our lives, taking us further and further and further and further away from us. So we look at countries and histories, like I was saying. There's always somebody who says, I can do it better, I'm better. What you're doing to my people is wrong. You better believe it. When you're in power and you don't find ways to educate, empower, and offer your people opportunity to thrive, of course they're going to feel like you don't have their best interest. In addition to that, though, it's not just the role of leadership. The question also arises, but what am I doing to empower my life spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially? It's not just to be left onto others to do for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I making myself clear tonight? I hope so. Give me my thumbs up, thumbs down. You see, in life we go through various scenes because we need energy to bounce off of us, to give us some insights into what is the soul, and how do I do things here? And when everything seems to be going right, you know, we're in our comfort zone, so we're not as strong as we want to be. I have a lot of concern about us staying home all the time, and I know some of us have said, wow, I could do this for a long time, and some of us are like, I don't know if this is for me. But I've been questioning, you know, am I getting stronger? Am I emotionally getting stronger? Am I spiritually getting stronger? I mean, I can question this one big time. Am I physically getting stronger? In other words, are my muscles getting stronger? Am I working out? Am I breathing clear, good oxygen? Because sometimes the nature of the soul is that it will quickly fall into a kind of a routine that won't challenge it to thrive for more. Unless it is deeply tested, like really deeply tested, then it starts to go in at a deeper level and look for answers to find a way out of the situation that it's found itself in. Do you know yourself during times of change? And every situation that you and I have been through, whether it's personal, whether it's in the family, whether it's a national collective or global collective energy, whether it was something traumatic, maybe it could have been a celebration, maybe it could have been a marriage, maybe it could be the birth of your child, maybe it could be the loss of an intimate partner. Didn't you start to think different? Why? Why did that event deeply move you to such an extent that you started to search in different parts in your being that was giving you insight into who you are as a person? And before that, you never had those thoughts. Food for thought? Why don't we have a little bit of music to play and a little bit of Om Shanti, and I'm going to play our favorite song of Om Shanti just to expand our hearts tonight and sit in tonight's discussion. I was telling Santosh, you know, I go, in my young days, which was just yesterday, in my young days, I was always quite engaged in matters of the world and engage in things of, you know, my city and country, and I wouldn't sit back much and not do anything about it. And I was saying, when I got to my awakening, I ended up on a different battlefield. And this battlefield was no longer a political one or one about my nation as such, but this battlefield became one of my mind. It was a different kind of battle, and I was seeking sovereignty. And this one, though, this battle that I'm engaged in, this coup that I'm engaged in taking over my kingdom inside of my head, this is the only one in which I'll come out the better version. Because in my whole journey of the teachings of Raj Yoga and the Brahma Kumaris, I've learned until I can slay algae, I won't be in control of my kingdom anymore. Once algae is activated and still think it has power over me, which is what makes our sanskars complicated, there won't be any more power. It'll be power given to the other side of me. And that's not what we want. We want to regain our power and our sense of presence to be of service for the greater good. So let's take a deep breath. Breathe in, hold it for a moment, and then release slowly. Breathe in again, hold it, then breathe it out slowly. Take this moment to think about you and where you are in your journey. What are the strengths that are trying to come out? But because you've set up your life so comfortable, or so sort of maybe you've put up certain ideas, you don't think you can go any further than where you are, or the pandemic is telling you you can't. Lots of things. But in what part of you, what energy in you, what thought in you has been sitting there wanting to be the superhero, but you just don't feel like you can anymore? You don't feel strong enough to let the superhero come out. Let's take a moment to think about what is that power in you that you're just really, really wanting to serve and watch it shine.
Together we make this choice. Together we make this choice. Together, Om Shanti. We're singing Om Shanti.
Have your superpowers come up? Has all of your superhero powers come to life? Could you feel that there was something inside of you just waiting to be birthed, but because you've got kids, or because you're married, or because of the pandemic, or because you feel like you don't have enough money, or whatever it might be, due to the changes that are occurring in all of our lives right now, do you feel that this isn't the time to use your superpowers? Don't you think that this would be a good time to emerge those superpowers now? Now that things are so different? And is that what we actually wanted all this time to do? Was to emerge those real inner powers of the self, which is who the soul is? I think about that for myself when I'm in a situation or a circumstance where things that are happening around me aren't what I want. For example, I've asked Sister Gita to be quiet 100 times today, and she's still sorting out stuff over here, which she only does when we're live. When we're not live, you won't see her. The whole place is quiet. And I've thought to myself, over and over again, is it that I'm lacking the power here? That why can't my thought just somehow be transmitted to her to say, oh, they're on air, let me be quiet and respect that space. She won't. Doesn't matter what we do, it ain't going to happen. And I kind of have to let it go. But then I question myself, though. Is my mental capacity getting slower, or getting less?
Excuse me.
Okay. So I'm just saying, is my mental capacity getting less? And then I have to be able to check myself at such a deeper level to find ways to know my strength and to know my power in the midst of change. I think the greatest need of this time is our powers. And when we have evolved into that state of empowerment, it's natural for the scenes around us to follow suit. And I believe that, like yesterday's program, why we sometimes get angry or frustrated with ourselves is that we don't see that. We know deep down inside it's not fully evolved. And we know ourselves. We know the soul is that. We know the soul is filled with power and might and light and insight. We know it. But there's still something that wanes and pulls the soul into something old. So let's go into a little meditation again and go into, what if I really owned my power and stopped, attracting this energy that's connected to people and places and things and parties and this and countries and languages, which are all taking away our power. And what if we just stayed inside of the soul and stay there? Let's try it. Om Shanti. As I sit here in quiet reflection, I'm reminded how my thoughts create my reality. I've accepted that I am what I am because of what I think. So what if for this moment I choose to let go of my various attachments to physical forms that have limited my potential and my capacity? What if I chose to be free from limitations of thinking? So just for a little while, I invite you to take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And imagine for a moment, what if I no longer had an attachment to my name? How would that feel? What if I let go of the awareness of the gender? What if I let go of the roles that I play, the titles that I own? What if I decided to release thinking of myself as a religion, a language, a nationality? What if I choose to just let go of the name, gender, role, title, religion, language, nationality, and let go of the awareness of the body? How would I feel? Who would think of me in this awareness? And who would I think of? I would think of God. And God's remembrance would fall on me. And I, the living soul, would be completely free. Let me just sit in this moment for a little longer. And just be free. Now gently bring back the awareness of your gender, language, nationality, title, role, name, religion, whatever. Bring it back to your awareness and see if you can bring the experience of freedom and peace as you go out into the world and play your various parts. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. I love that meditation so much. It takes me there. It takes me there, to that place. It really does. So right, everyone has any questions about today's sharing? Anything on your mind? Welcome to Mukta, ESV, Louise, Shobha, Indu, Bren, Sora, Jennifer, Nagsri, Praveen, Elizabeth, Mita, Kailash, Wendy, Bharti, Tina, Hina, Jermaine, Asmita. Welcome, welcome, Nikhil Kumar. Om Shanti, everyone, welcome. Anything in tonight's sharing touched you? Anything opened up for you with tonight's sharing? Is there anything inside of your heart that's burning to come out that is the you, especially during these times of change? Haven't you noticed that if you don't pump up yourself and make yourself more, you fall back into a kind of a lethargic sense of yourself, like you feel like you just fall back into whatever, well, just be average. What does it matter? I guess this is all I'm worth. And yet each time you find situations will come and it says you got to put more in, and you're like, well, I don't really believe much in myself anyway. And isn't that as painful as trying to put in the effort and the energy to take you to the next destination? It's painful to not be powerful, and it's painful to become powerful. So what is to our advantage? And these times of change that we are all a part of, we're all in this together. How are you pushing yourself forward? What are you doing to support a charity? What are you doing to call people and make amends? What are you doing to think about creative ways to move life forward? Santosh and I were sharing about his new invention and the work that he's doing, and I go, gosh, we just need good editors, we need good screenwriters, we need people who have a vision, who can helping us with the production of the radio show and everything else. And we're going, there's so much service to be done to keep creating an energy and a vibration that can invite individuals to feel better. And sometimes we're just not focused. Well, I have so much to do, and then when you look at your whole day, you went to the fridge 10 times. And you still saw the same food in there. And you still picked maybe the same apple or orange out of the fridge. It was the same thing. And one of the things I've loved in my life is a life of discipline. That, and I don't mean discipline where you can't do anything and aye, sir, I'm on service. I'm talking about just discipline. What your timetable is, at this particular time and during the day, this is what you will do. And you're programmed that way. You're just programmed. So there isn't about, well, maybe I'm not in the mood. Tomorrow I think I'll do it. That's when still my old personality. Some days I do have days where I'll tell, the family, it's like, today I feel like doing nothing, and I'll just end up doing things around the house and fixing things. And it still feels like a lot because they were pending items. But to just have a life of focus, consistency, creativity, practice thinking outside of the box, checking in with God every hour on the hour, having an intimate relationship with Baba will help you to know who you're supposed to be, especially in times of change. All right, so any questions or any thoughts from all of our wonderful, wonderful friends? Is this resonating with you, or you're like, well, that's not what I was expecting her to talk about today? Knowing yourself in a changing world. Does anyone have any thoughts on their minds that they would like to share with the rest? So helpful always to deal with life changes, says Louise F. And the roller coaster of highs and lows helps to remain strong, peaceful and stable. Miracle Mary, good evening family, Om Shanti. I'm using my superpowers in painting rocks with messages from God and passing them to strangers. Ooh, beautiful. Love our Meditation Museum family. That's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thought, Miracle Mary. Really wonderful. All right, any other thoughts from anyone? Ah, right, thank you. Vashti, Om Shanti. That meditation was so beautiful, deep and inside of peace. Yes, I really love the meditations in the evenings. They've been amazing. I have to tell you, I really love them. Hi, Darlene Foster. So nice to have you. It's good to have you on. And Diamond and everyone. Welcome, Madhukar. Madhukar Sankalp. Asha, nice to have you. Shiva, Betty Brown. How are you doing, Betty? Rita Doherty, nice to have you on as well. Betty, it's been such a long time since we've connected, huh? All right. Any other thoughts from anyone tonight? Okay. Well, let's take a moment of pause, no? Like we did a few days ago. Knowing ourselves will require some deep inner stillness, some silence. And why don't we practice a little bit of that tonight? Because I have this deep, deep conviction that our inner silence will give us such insights into who we're supposed to be, especially at these times. So let's go by the ocean again and just sit there. And I want you to think about you. I want you to pause for a moment and say, say, where are you inside, and what does my higher self want of me right now? What does it want me to think? What does it want me to say? What does it want me to do? And for the next 5 minutes or so, as we just go into this silence together, and I'll invite Brother Santosh if he can just play some nice soft instrumental. I'd like us if we can end the night with that energy of inner quietude, and you reflecting on you, and the energy of power that you know is sitting in you, but sometimes you don't feed it to come to the surface. You're too comfortable in the old part of you. Okay? So just take a breath. Let's go by the ocean. And I want you to imagine you're completely alone. There's nobody around. Nobody. And it's just you and your beautiful mind in your beautiful world, finding deep clarity for yourself.